Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. And this is right where we left off. So if you remember, this is our unrolled rock with our texture on it and our glitch. And so basically what I'm going to show you now is how to take this and make it printable so we can Zund it and send it to FedEx and get everything all ready so you can build this thing, right? So first, I just want to quickly show you what I have right here. This is the Zund walkthrough PDF. You can get this from the shop on the QR code outside of the Zund, but I'm also going to upload it to the Carmen page for project 2. This is page 7 of the 8-page document, and it's using the camera registration feature. So basically, the plotted material should include a 1/4-inch diameter solid black circle, 2 of them, located in opposite corners of the content, right? I put 3 personally. A minimum of 2 are required. I'm not sure if having more dots helps it become more accurate. There's been a lot of discussion about that. Mike and I don't actually know if it helps or not, but we each kind of just throw 3 on there just to be safe. So we're going to put 3 on ours. And so you're going to have like an actual printed document. It's going to be cut. That's what's being sent to FedEx. And then you're going to have the actual file that's sent to the Zund. And so the corresponding file is going to have these dots with no fill on them, right? So basically what we are going to do is I'm going to send you guys down there with this information that shows you how to cut it, but everyone in the shop is trained to use the registration circles. Mike has assured me that if you guys have questions about it while you're cutting, that the employees will be able to help you. So, but yeah, basically instead of through cut on one, there is a register method, and you'll basically select that, choose best fit, hit OK, center your options, and the camera basically is going to find the content for you. And you can kind of guide the camera with the directional keys. I imagine a lot of you are going to have an employee kind of walk you through this. And like once one of you knows how to do this, show your students or your fellow classmates, that's just how that's best practice at school, is help each other out. So that being said, this is going to be up on Carmen for you guys. So we're going to minimize that and take a peek at what we've got right here, right? So this is our rock, right where we left it, and it has a texture with our surfaces on it, right? So what we want to quickly do is we want to make our dots. And so let's do a diameter. We know what our diameter, this is our 11/17, if you remember. So I'm going to pick a point, and then I am going to make this, I'm sorry, not 4.25 inches, right? And so this is one of our registration dots. So we're going to take this, and we want this to be solid. So if we go to hatch, select this, enter, we're going to make this solid, right? So we're going to have this dot here, copy, paste. We want one on the other corner down here. And I'm going to put a third one just to be safe, just so it really registers, it knows which side it's using. And again, we're not actually sure if the third dot helps, but I'm just going to check my dimensions. This is 11 inches by 17 inches, and these dots are exactly a 1/4 inch wide. So this is great. This is what we're going to basically send to FedEx. But that's not all we need to do. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're going to type make 2D, and we're going to get a copy of this. And so what this is this is now the line work, right? I'll bring this over. So we're looking at these kind of in line with each other. So this is our line work, right? Remember, we want our red line is our through cut, right? And we want our dots to be on their own layer. So we're going to make a new layer here. We're going to call this registration dots. Enter. And then we're going to take these. We are going to change object layer. That's great. I'm going to make another layer as well called sheet boundary. And I'm going to make that layer green, right? So we're going to make this layer green. And we're going to grab our sheet boundaries. And we're going to select them to this layer. And we're just going to make sure everything here under display color is going to be by layer. All right, so we have our layers assigned. And what we want to do now, we have a group right here on top. You can just delete that because that was the group of the texture. And this is just the line work that needs cut, right? So what we want to do is add tabs to this. And it looks like all of these come together at points. I'm going to check something. This geometry just happens to be a little funny. So if I type trim, I selected one of these. Yeah, so these are tough because there's no like real intense like this is only really joining like right here. So it's going to cut all the way through and make those individual pieces. But what I think was important with sorry about that. I'm going to redo everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a copy of this because I'm not seeing my what will be the score lines between pieces, right? So because these are different pieces, so we're going to explode this and then make 2D, and that gives me what I'm looking for. So we can basically delete all this. I'm keeping that line so I know exactly where everything needs to go. We're going to take this, grab that point, line it up. Then we're going to type cell dupe and hit delete. And there we go. So now we can grab our lines and make our cut layer, through cut, and score. So we'll make through cut red and score blue. That's what I like to do at least. So we'll take our, first off, some of these are grouped together. Just kind of working through this. Gonna ungroup. All right, so grab these lines. Is it only those two? These might be our only two score. Well, there's definitely a line right here that looks like it got lost. So we can just draw that in real quick. Go to score, change object layer. Oh, and we want to make sure these all the properties display color is by layer. All right. So then we can grab all the other lines. Grab all the other lines by holding shift, lock that layer, and then change object layer for these. All right, so this is the line work that we are going to send down to the Zund, right? But this isn't done yet. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take our polyline and we're going to draw some tabs. And what these are these are just going to be things for little bits and edges for when you have this cut out that you can start to fold these to connect your edges together, right? And so on curves, it's better if they're smaller. It'll make them easier to fold, but just something to put the glue on for when you are modeling these. And these are not going to be visible from the outside. And so, you know, like which edges are going where. It just kind of is a little intuitive how you fold it together. So like, you know, this face is going to be up against this face. So you can put one right here. And that's going to like connect into that edge. This edge is going right here. So I like to grab the smaller of the two edges. So that's going to go in there. This edge is going to fit onto this. So I can grab that. This edge is going to connect over here. You can use, when you unroll, there's like the labels. If you so choose, that could be a helpful tool for you. But I'm just going to kind of use my intuition on this. So I know that goes there. And this edge connects onto here, right? So we can put a nice big flap here. This edge is going to connect over here, right? So as is this one goes to right here. So we can just make a couple little tabs. And these are really important because this is how you're going to hold your, this is how your model is going to like hold together. This edge connects right here, right? We're going to put that on this one. This edge goes right there. This edge is going to fold into this. I know, which, you know, seems kind of crazy, but that's when it's unrolled like this, it really stretches and bends. This will connect into here. And these you can do however you want, whatever you think is going to be best. And really just this edge is going to connect to right here. I'll tab right this. And the Zund is going to cut this for you. And then I'll just throw a couple little tabs right here. I think for this particular shape, that will suffice. I would love to see where this edge is going. This edge is connecting to wraps around. Oh, let's look at the rock. Let's see. And not that this matters because this is my rock and not yours, but I'm curious. Oh, it will be in line with, I see. it will be in line with that triangular piece that it is near. So this will creep over into this little area right here. So I am going to add just a little tab on the end of this, just for that. Now these, because they're not seen, they're going to be folded in. I am not going to show them on this PDF, but I'm going to tell you to do that. So really, what we can do is go through and select everything we just grabbed, that we just drew, because I believe Marta wants you to show these on your PDF, but they're hidden. Like when you roll it up, you're not going to see them, but just when you submit like a PDF of this. So go ahead and hit copy, grab top left corner of the rectangle of the print sheet and put them on the new top left corner. And that will make sure they are all placed in the exact same locations from one sheet to the other, right? So now we just got to do a little more trim on our cut file. So we're going to take all of this and put it on our through cut layer. And we're also going to hit split. Select cutting objects. Everything's already selected. Hit enter. And sometimes this doesn't work the first time. So grab this, hit enter for split, and then grab this, hit OK. Does it trim? That's odd. So, okay, that's fine, I guess. It's supposed to split amongst the cutting surface, but what we can do is we can just select, go on your score layer. We're going to trim out all those lines and we're going to make these score lines, because you don't want to cut all the way through these tabs because they're going to fold, right? So highlight everything, trim, and this kind of requires you to know your model. I'm actually going to switch this back to shaded just because that white background was getting a little tedious for me, but just quickly going through and grabbing these. Oh, I see what happened here. Go ahead and extend this a little bit. That, this right here. You see how I can like tell which line is which? And so that didn't work because it looks like this line didn't quite extend long enough. So we'll come back to that. Grab that right there, that right there. All right. And so what we can do is just that. Actually, I've just decided there's a better way to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to trace over all of these first in blue. This is another way to do it, but I just think this is really easy. The last method works perfectly with straight lines, but some of these lines aren't exactly straight. So if you go ahead and click the drop down on your polyline and go to the interpolate points, this lets you like match the curves exactly, because these are like slightly curved geometries in some areas, and some they're much more pronounced. And we just want these curves to be exact for when this cuts. I'm gonna grab that. And really you just need a beginning, a middle, and an end point for these curved spots. And if your smart track is on, you can kind of get those intercepts right there. And then we're going to trim out the red lines underneath these by locking this score layer again, like we did before. Did not quite draw that line correctly. Here we go. And now we can just quickly grab our orthogonal polyline again and got these last couple lines. So there is just a small amount of cleanup required in making this thing printable. So do stay with me. All right, so all our score lines look to be there. So we're going to lock this layer. And now we're going to select all this. Hit trim. And yeah, just go through and grab these points. We're going to have to fix these two little areas I didn't draw correctly. Grab those. Grab that. Trim. Okay. And because our score layer is locked, you will just see our score lines appear blue when we trim these away. And that is looking good. I know this is a little tedious, but I promise it's going to make sense when it's all done. All righty. So there we go. We got our score lines and our through cut lines, our outline, and our registration dot line. And these are on different layers. So this file, you're going to take this and you're going to send just this to the Zund, like we've practiced, right? So this goes to the Zund. This right here, what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our excuse me, we're going to go back into our rendered mode. This you are going to print from Rhino as a PDF. Okay. File, export selected, select everything right here, hit enter. I have PDF selected from the drop down, rock unrolled, right? Go ahead and hit save. This is all messed up. Our size is an 11 by 17. Your default is going to be vector output, right? It's just going to show you lines and stuff. Keep this 300 DPI, keep portrait, change vector to raster. Click this drop down for view and output scale. Go ahead and get out of margin to position. This will be closed. It'll look like this. Go ahead and click the drop down. Make sure it's the top viewport. Go from scale to fit to 1:1, and then go to window, hit set. Type move, grab the corner right here, and align it with your corner right here. Then hit enter. This is your PDF that you're going to be printing, right? So go ahead and hit OK. And what it's going to do is wherever you opted to save that, like mine is in here. Project 2, rock unrolled. Go ahead and open this up. this PDF, this is what you're going to send to FedEx, right? And they're going to print it for you on very nice cardstock paper. And you're going to take this to the Zund, and it's going to, you're going to use the cut file that's right here. This you're going to send down to the Zund, right? You're going to take this file, export selected as a DXF file, right? Remember our tutorial? DXF, rock, unroll. And you're going to drop that in the Zund Dropbox. And this line work is going to line up with this that you have printed. And it's going to cut it out perfectly for you using the camera. And it's going to know exactly where to cut this out. It's really, really just, it's a magical tool, genuinely. And all you have to do is take this PDF that you just made to FedEx and print it off. I would just put mine on a USB, walk my job over. It's at the end of Woodruff, right when it dead ends into High Street, and just say, can I get this printed on cardstock? I generally prefer matte, but you'll have an option for a glossy paper as well. So that's just your judgment call. Depends on your texture, I think. But yeah, I hope that's not too complicated. There's probably an online submit for FedEx jobs, so go check it out. And I can't wait to see how your rocks turn out. If you have any questions, I'll be in on Thursday, probably when you're watching this video. And so flag me down and I will be around to help, as are the GAs. They're always available. So that being said, keep up the great work and I will see you guys soon.